What's up everyone? Today I'm hiking to the Catskills to show you one of my favorite campsites where I'm going to be sleeping by a stream, building a crude refrigerator, and making sushi for the very first time. But when you're in the mountains, things are going to go wrong and you have to find a way to improvise. Let's get into it. This campsite has a special place in my heart because it's the first place I ever went solo camping. It's just beautiful, right by a little stream, gorgeous sunlit woods. Really excited to share it with you all. This is what this place looks like in summer. Let me show you what it looks like in winter. This bad boy must have clobbered this bridge when it first fell. Home sweet home. I have managed to lose 2 tripods in 3 trips. Rather than subject you all to terrible camera angles, I'm gonna try to make one out of this. So to do that, I'm gonna cut off a bit of paracord. Always good to have rope on you. And now I'm gonna try to figure out a way to just lash these 3 together and then put my other backup tripod on top of that and kind of make a mega tripod. So I just have my 2 hiking poles and this random stick that I found, and I'm just gonna lash them together. It ain't pretty, but I think it'll get the job done. The main issue is I have to attach this thing, which is like a little gorilla legs wrap around to the top of that. All right, I think that'll work. I got a bigger tarp this time, so that's good. Let's get it set up. So one lesson I've learned already, I need to learn how to tie knots better. Add that to the list of things to do. Definitely something to know before you start setting up tarps in the backcountry. You want this to be taut so all the water runs off. Like that would be the ideal shape. So I'm gonna have to jury rig it and make it better. There she is, home sweet home. Now to set up the inside. To help with getting firewood, I got a little camp saw that I'm excited to try out. Voila, let's go get some firewood. As always, in the Catskills, you're not supposed to cut trees, and in general, it's better to not cut trees down. This is dead, but thankfully a big portion of it's off the ground. So I think I'm gonna try that out. Hopefully it burns well, we'll see. This thing cuts like butter. Sven saw, working pretty well. Granted, it's brand new, so it should be, but still. For breakfast tomorrow, I'm gonna make burritos, and I have the cheese and the pre-made eggs and bacon, but I don't have a way to cool them. So I'm gonna put them in the mountain stream, and that should be significantly cooler than the air temperature. So let's see how it works. So in order to keep this from being eaten by raccoons or something, basically I'm just gonna put it in the water away from camp so the scent doesn't attract animals too close to me. And then I'm just gonna cover it with some heavy rocks, and hopefully that works. Hopefully that's good enough. I guess we'll see. For dinner tonight, I'm making something I've never made before, which is sushi. So I've never made that at home, definitely never made it in the woods, but why not try it out, see what happens. I have my pot to boil the rice in. Rice, nori sheets, tuna, don't worry, it's sushi grade. And then edamame is my snack with some soy sauce and other things I'm gonna put on the sushi. Last but not least, avocado to put in the sushi. And here is my stove kit, coming in handy yet again. But I have a new pot, a little bit bigger than my other one, or at least a little bit wider. So hopefully I can cook a little more stuff more easily. Now the sushi rice is simmering, I'm gonna start making the fire. Once again, using the pine knot, just to make my life easier. And then you always wanna have a little bundle of sticks ready to go, or twigs really, when the thing lights. And then just add some more. Oh, that is not what you want to see. In order to keep from smothering it, you want to basically lay the pieces at angles to each other. So imagine you're going around an analog clock face, and you just lay a piece every 10 minutes. And that is an easy way to keep them spaced out. So not off to a great start, because I somehow managed to burn some of the rice, which is why it's discolored. But hopefully it tastes okay. I think it's going to be a little bit too wet and too gluey, but I'm hungry, so Time to get after it. Well, you know, you win some, you don't win some. And this is not the way you're supposed to make sushi, but one thing you are supposed to do is build a dam down at the bottom edge and basically put your fillings up next to it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Thank goodness the avocado's right. It's gonna taste okay. Well, the rice isn't gonna taste good, but the actual everything else is gonna taste amazing. All right, let's try our hand at the rolling part. So basically you want it to come almost to the edge. You want this little bit of lip and just roll it over on top of that. And voila, we have sushi. I think I'm just gonna eat a hand roll because I'm hungry. It ain't much to look at, but I'm sure it's gonna taste good. Oh man. Yes, the rice is basically glue, but still hits the spot. Definitely could use some improvements though. The only concern is I just basically made the most delicious meal possible for a bear. Definitely gonna have to wash everything extra carefully. Well, it sure wasn't pretty, but it was still delicious. I'm proud of myself for trying. Well, friends, it has been a long day. I think it's about 11 p.m. now. So I'm ready for sleep, and I will see you all in the morning. Morning. It's morning. Although I don't hear any birds singing, which I would have expected. Overall, I slept pretty well, minus the fact that I kept hearing something out there, or what I thought was something out there, so that kept me on edge. But most importantly, it's morning, which means it's time for breakfast burritos. Good news, the rocks don't look disturbed, but let's see if the food is still in there. Success! Haha! Not only is it not eaten by raccoons, but it actually kept it pretty cold. So I'm proud of myself for, wow, I'm proud of myself for making this work. When you're out in bear country and you don't have a bear canister, you want to hang a bear bag, which is basically just throwing a rope over a branch and then hanging your little sack of food from it. This is about 10 feet off the ground. It's probably a little too low, honestly. You want it to be a little bit higher, but for today's purposes, it worked okay. Make sure that the branch you select is a good one, because I've had issues with them breaking sometimes. One thing I've had to deal with in the winter is that sometimes the branch and the rope will ice over and it'll get stuck to the branch, so you can't get the bag down unless the branch breaks. I'm not entirely sure how to deal with that, so if anyone knows, let me know in the comments. So what I find most simplest for the bear bag is just wrapping around a tree a few times. The bark friction will keep it from sliding, and then I just double up, pull through a few times, and that's all you need. That'll keep it up and sturdy. Then you just loosen the rope and it'll start to slide down to the ground. Unfortunately, I managed to crust up the inside of my pot, but I'm still gonna boil some water for coffee and then get the burritos going. So for breakfast, I have a couple burrito wraps, black beans, pancetta and scrambled eggs, at least I think that's how you pronounce it, the Italian bacon, cheese, black pepper and salt, and last but certainly not least, hot sauce. Gonna put in the black pepper and salt, and then the eggs, kind of mix that all together. I've heard one of the secrets to making a better burrito is to warm the tortilla first, because that way it loosens it up a bit so you can stretch it and fold it a little bit more. So we'll see if this helps. 2 burritos may not be enough. Putting on some cheese to melt, and of course the key ingredient, hot sauce. No, the burrito is falling apart. Oh no. This is definitely not the way it's supposed to look. Well, it didn't quite turn out the way it was supposed to, but let's see how she tastes. If I can get this safe. Oh no, this is gonna completely fall apart. I'm gonna eat that with a fork later. Let's try the actual burrito looking one. Oh yeah, definitely salty. The pancetta is very salty. Also the salt I added probably makes that salty. So definitely dial that back. Other than that, this is delicious. Sun filtering through the trees, a stream nearby, burrito in hand. Doesn't get much better. And now, a little bit of coffee. The sun has finally started coming over the mountains, and look how beautiful it is. Well, friends, it has been a blast, but it's time to head out. So, let's get to it. So I'm heading out, coffee in hand, because I forgot to finish it at the campsite and didn't want it to go to waste. A couple came in and just was gonna stay at the campsite today for the first time, so I was telling them, you picked a great spot. Check out that beaver dam. Look at the size of that thing. That's about a 4-foot difference in the water level on that side versus this side. So beavers don't actually live in the dams they create. They live in these little lodges in the pools that the dam makes. And they have little tunnels leading out from the lodge into the water so they can go look for food and get out without having to be above the water. So it's just a little measure of protection for them. That was pretty cool. I haven't seen a beaver dam like that in a while. That was a pretty sizable one, at least from my experience. And it was cool to see the lodge right next to it. Usually they're a little bit farther apart from what I've seen. So that was pretty cool. It is so beautiful out. Unreal. Thanks for following along. I'm almost at the trailhead. That was an absolute blast, even though some things went wrong and the sushi was not the way it was supposed to be, to say the least. I'm glad I tried something new, and trying something new in the outdoors is even better. So again, thanks for following along, and I'll catch you next time.